This is Betsy Palmer, and I'm not sorry that I lost my head. It's been worth every moment of it.
Oh.
All right, we are back. Welcome to Without Your Head Horror Radio. We've got the guest right here, right at the beginning of the hour.
Yes, indeed. Jason is watching.
That's right. We got the Mud Boy himself. We got the original Jason from Friday the 13th.
The Boy in the Lake.
The Boy in the Lake. He's got many names, but his real name is Ari Lehman. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's an honor and a pleasure.
It's an honor to have you.
Hello to all the listeners out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Which name do you prefer? Do you prefer Ari? Do you prefer the Mud Boy? Do you prefer Jason?
Jason seems
well, you could always, refer to me as, the Slime Kid, or, perhaps Muck Monster is always good,
Seaweed Lad.
Decaying vegetation. It's good. People really underestimate how much fun it is to just, kind of slither through the slime, under the cold waters of Crystal Lake. That's where I'm living right now. That's where I am right now. I'm not, I'm in my lair.
Uh-huh.
Beneath, the cavern, the rock. Yeah.
Tell everybody to check out your website. It's youngjason.com.
Yes, I do have internet down here.
Yes.
I did want to say, but I have lousy television reception. So
oh, man. Deepwood Caverns have come a long way.
Yes. Well, yeah. You can... At MySpace, Creatures of Crystal Lake is a great website. It's the tour website for the summer tour that's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and that's going to be alongside Freak 13, a great band from Texas. And we invite people to come and check out the website where we have music by both bands and all kinds of wonderful, fun stuff.
For people who haven't heard
all this slime on me.
I was going to say, for people who haven't heard your music, how would you describe it?
Well, it's pretty unique. I'd say it's inspired by punk, and especially by the Dead Kennedys and the Bad Brains and
nice.
the Misfits and bands like that, and Danzig. And we also do Misfits covers and Danzig covers and Dead Kennedys covers, so there you go. But my own songs are kind of, I guess they're unique. They're up-tempo. I guess you could just call them brutal. They're just brutal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, because if I said they're punk or hardcore, I hate to get into those kind of things because, really punk, and that was like the Ramones and the Bad Brains and Dead Kennedys and all those great bands. And there's punk bands out today, but I think that what I'm doing is a little different, and I think that they would say that too. But so maybe you could just call it like horror rock. It's unique, man. It's brutal. It's destructive.
Just so everybody know, after the interview, we'll be playing a couple of your songs, Red, 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 and Monster Love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Red, 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 which it describes the workings of the mind of Jason, as he stalks through the woods, seeking his prey.
Oh.
I like that.
Yeah, no, that's what it's about. It says, alone, alone, alone I roam, like a dog I start to foam. All my muscles turn to stone as I bite down through the bone.
Excellent.
Yeah, man.
When did you start the band?
Well, I surfaced, way back in order to, what was it? It was at the Halloween and Haunts trade show here in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
The first Jason gig was actually opening for a fashion show that Elvira was hosting, the Mistress of the Dark. So they had this wild, fashion show, and we got to open for that, and then we played at Flashback Weekend, and they had us go out and do a big drive-in movie theater out in Aurora, which was a lot of fun. And then we played in St. Louis and, you know, in Chicago. And we're getting ready for a big event coming up, which I'll tell you guys about later. But, you know, I mean, it's like, I mean, it's really what we're doing is wreaking righteous vengeance in a loud way, you know, but really fast. It's not, you know, necessarily just music as vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
And we are, you know, we're slashing our way, you know, onto the scene with, you know, both punk and metal kind of sound. And you know, we've got a lot of fans.
Yeah. Let everybody know. Oh, you going to
I was just going to ask, do you sign like much Jason memorabilia while you're touring with First Jason?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I'm always happy to meet with the fans of Jason Voorhees, who started it all in the first place. And when I'm on tour, we are often basing the tours on conventions where I'm doing appearances as Jason, and meeting with all the great fans who are awesome, and they're always like really supportive and really dedicated. And if it wasn't for those fans, there would be no First Jason, because, well, I mean, first of all, it's when the fans go and see Friday the 13th that brings Jason back to life every time. I mean, let's face it.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, I mean, I was out there. I was originally doing another style of music. I was in like reggae music, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was
kind of
doing.
like the Bad Brains then, you know.
Yeah, well, sure. I had seen the Bad Brains back in the day, but I had gotten into like full-fledged reggae music. I was touring all over the world. I went to Europe and Africa even, you know. And that's where my head was at when one day I got on my computer, and a very nice person, Ari Lehman, who runs Crystal Lake Collectibles, well, he just happened to write me and said, did you sign this autograph here? And I was like, gosh, I've never signed an autograph. And he was like, well, someone sold me this. So I said, well, I guess that's a forgery. So but that brought it to my attention. That brought it to my attention that perhaps people would like me to sign autographs. So here Eric said, you know, come, and actually he invited me to the first show that I got to, which was the Schiller Theater show in New Jersey, which you guys are probably familiar with. Mm-hmm. And I was there, and they said Betsy was going to be there, so I was really excited. I got there. First person I saw was Tom Savini. I'm like, oh my God, you know, it's like, it was incredible. I'm just as much a fan of Tom Savini as anybody, and Betsy. And so when I got downstairs, there was like 200 people waiting to see me, and I couldn't believe it. So it kind of dawned on me that I've been, you know, remiss in not attending these things, and I certainly have had a good time. And at first I had my own CDs there, you know, for my band, and the horror fans were very nice about it. They were like, you know, this is cool, this music is great, you know, I've never listened to reggae. But then after a while, you know, some of the fans said, listen, you know, man, come on, you're Jason. Hey, do you like Pantera? And I'm like, yeah, Pantera's dope. And I'm like, do you like this band, that's the Misfits, do you like this? So, you know, people just kind of got it in my head. It was the fans who kind of thought it up for me. And then I said, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right. So that's when I started really kind of trying to absorb the music and digging on all the bands. And I realized that there's so much great music and so many great bands out there that I just want to hit it right. And, you know, I feel that we're getting there now. And one of the big changes is that now I don't play keyboard in the band. I'm just singing as a front man. We have two guitarists. And it's strong. The band was featured in an independent horror movie called Thanksgiving. I don't know if you guys heard about that one.
No.
Thanksgiving with an X in the middle. Yeah, they have a MySpace, and they have a website. But if you put THANX.
Oh, okay.
GIVING. And it was produced by Bobby Ray Akers down in and Richard Novacek down in St. Louis, and they did a great job on it. And the song "Red Red Red" is in that movie, and so that movie, I'm also in the movie too. I play this character, Delbert Eaton, who actually gets eaten because it's like it's about a bunch of backwoods cannibals who like. Well, what happens is this, okay? A bunch of kind of wise-ass filmmaker kids, right, are out there. They're trying to find a location to shoot their movie. So there's a lot of like scenes seen through their camera that they're carrying, you know, that kind of thing. Like, and then, okay, they kind of come upon this great location out in the woods, but they don't realize that they're also trespassing on the land of these kind of ghoul cannibals who are living out there who kind of, you know, begin to make short work of them. And I play this guy, Delbert Eaton, who's like, he's like, you know, your stock character from like Scooby-Doo, who's like, you kids get off this land. You shouldn't be here. You know. And get out of here. And I had a shotgun. I got to shoot a shotgun in this movie. And I did my own stunt. I fell off a cliff. It was a lot of fun. There's some great actors in it.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. That sounds good. That's like that's one holiday they haven't made a horror movie about yet until now.
Yeah, we were just talking about that the other week.
You
know, the funny thing is, and here's some horror dish for you. The you know, this Grindhouse movie has in between the reels there's ads for horror movies that don't exist.
Oh, really?
Yes, and I just found out that Eli Roth is directing one of those commercials, and his movie is called Thanksgiving, but it's not real, and this is like so bizarre because we had completed the movie before we haven't even heard about it. So,
wow.
And you know, his doesn't have an X in it; it's just Thanksgiving, just like the regular title.
Someone here in the chat room says we need a leap year movie for February 29th.
Leap year? Oh, that's a good idea.
I like that, too.
Let's you get a caller here. Who is this?
Hey, this is
Hello?
Hi, this is 640 from the chat room, and I just had a question for the original Jason. What does he think of the new Jason, the Freddy vs. Jason movies, and how they turned out?
Well, hey, how you doing there, man? That's a good question. I actually think they did a fine job. I was pleasantly surprised to see that they did their best to keep the storyline intact, and I think that even the portrayal of the Swamp Boy, the boy in the lake, the slime monster, he was, you know, with his kind of like quivering thing, and you know, that was pretty cool. I mean, you know, I thought it was okay. You know, what did you think?
Oh, I loved it personally.
Cool, right on, man. I mean, you know what it is? Ken Kersinger, man. You know, we had all the Jasons got together, and you know, Kane Hodder has his fans, and Kane is always like, I've known Kane since way back at that show at theater. So we didn't know, you know, Ken, you know, and people would come to me and say, what do you think about Ken, and blah, blah, blah. And I thought the performance was excellent. So, you know, I had to meet the man, but within about 30 seconds of meeting Ken Kersinger, you realize that you have to like him because he's a genuine and a very kind person, even though, you know, he's a big-ass mofo, but he's, you know.
Well, that's what I thought you were going to say, like, you have to like him or he'll kill you.
No. That's how it feels with Kane sometimes. Kane, or maybe with my good buddy Andrew Bernarski, who played Leatherface. You know, he's like, but no, I mean, actually, they're all really nice people. But Ken Kersinger, is a really nice person. So it was like, we did Monster Mania, and they had 7 Jasons there. And that's the first time that I met Ken. And it was like great. It was like, wow. So, you know.
I saw, just quick, I saw Andrew's going to be in the new Dracula movie. I saw that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It was filmed in England. And let me tell you, Andrew Bernarski is an actor to watch out for, man. That guy is top-notch.
Mm-hmm.
He is top-notch. And when I was just at Collector GMEX in Manchester, England, we were out there, man, and there was this band from Seattle that was there in the UK doing a tour. So they said, come on, you guys, you know, Jason and Leatherface, you got to come check us out. We're playing tonight. And the band is called Steaming Wolf Penis. Okay? And they have this movie called Jerk Beast, in which their drummer wears this huge beast outfit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's like insane. It's like a fan in the top, because, you know, it's like one of those crazy things. But it's like a crazy punk band, and, you know, they're nuts. But so we're like that, you know, we'll come down. So, you know, here's like, you know, we're all getting ready in our, you know, metal gear. We got down there. It's like pouring rain, you know, in England, you know, get inside one of these little brick punk clubs, you know, and everybody's smashed on whiskey and beer. And like the first band, the freaking guitarist wasn't even wearing any pants. It was like, it was crazy, you know. And then, you know, he just had his guitar in front of him. And so we're all like, what the? And then so we found our friends, and then we got up on stage. They started playing, and Andrew and I got up, and actually I said, we did Die, Die, My Darling by the Misfits, you know, Die, 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 My Darling. Yep. And so I was singing that with Andrew, and, you know, I would sing a line, and then I, you know, he would sing, you know, just shut your pretty mouth, and then I would say, Die, 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 My Darling, you know. So then, like, the crowd went crazy. I got crowd surfed. It was nuts, man. But Andrew was sick, and he was all like, dude, man, that's a cool, like, I had the Christopher Lee Dracula shirt on. He was like, I'm going to play Dracula. I'm going to play Dracula tomorrow, man. That's where he was going to go do it. And I heard that it's an excellent production.
Yeah, I saw the...
you guys like the new TCM?
Oh, the remake or the beginning?
The beginning.
I actually haven't seen the beginning yet. I actually have the DVD, but I haven't seen it yet. But I really enjoyed the remake.
Cool. Yeah.
What did you think of it? Well, what do you think about?
I think you'll like the beginning even more. To say the truth, man, because it is sick. It's gnarly, man. It's explicit.
Oh, what do you think about the talks? I don't know if it's a remake, reimagining, whatever they're calling it, of Friday the 13th.
Well, I'll tell you something. You know, Platinum Dunes is supposedly going to be doing it this year, and you know, it's up again. You know, it's like once again they keep saying that they want to do it, and I encourage it, of course. The funny thing is that I have my own storyline, of course, what I think really happened, but I don't know if that'll ever reach the ears of the public, but it may. Mm-hmm. But they, you know, I think that they are going to do a remake of the first movie. Like, instead of, at first they thought they were going to do some kind of a prequel or something, but they're saying now that they're just going to basically just remake Friday the 13th.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it'll still be the mother as the killer? Do you think they'll have more Jason in it?
Well,
some people might expect that.
Kind of blend it to. I think it's going to kind of maybe be like part 1 and 2 a little bit, wherein he becomes the killer. But you know, I hate to speculate. Cause I don't know, but you know, I think that's been the whole thing all along, is that they're really trying to find a script that works for them. And I mean, my point is, I have an idea for the story, which I think would define the character. And you know, of course, maybe I should have moved to L.A. and knocked on their door. But we'll see. But yeah, I'm hopeful. I think that, I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. You get a question, John?
I was just wondering, did you participate in the Crystal Lake Memories book?
Oh yeah, that's the Peter Brack book,
Mm-hmm.
That was a great effort. Yeah, as a matter of fact, that luckily coincided with just at the same time that I was getting into doing horror conventions. Peter was doing a lot of interviews. He was on the scene. He really thoroughly researched this book. It's great. It's a great book. It's a great, it goes beyond being a coffee table book, but, it looks like that. It's stunning, It's got it's professionally done. I'd say it's the definitive, work to date on and I sign it all the time, that's for sure. People bring it all the time. And it's hard to get a copy of. I can't get a box of those. I mean, forget it.
I think they just released the second edition, so.
That's right. That's right. That's what I heard. Which is pretty fast. I mean, good for them.
Talk about signing those. What's like the strangest thing anyone's asked you to sign?
Well, various body parts like that. That's always requested. There's like sign my baby. I signed a baby's head. Of course, the famous thing that we've all signed is Joe Netter's ass. I mean, you know about that, right? Joe Netter's ass. That's the big initiation. Sign Joe Netter's ass. Of course, the funny thing is Joe has a tattoo of his face tattooed on his ass. But with his face, it's hard to tell the difference. No. But, no, the first time I was at, I think it was at a flashback weekend, and God bless him, Matt McGorry was even there. I remember seeing him there, and we were watching, because a flashback weekend, which is a great horror convention here in Chicago, which they do drive-in movie type thing outdoors in the parking lot. So they have a huge inflatable screen. Mm-hmm. And we were watching House of a Thousand Corpses, man. Mm-hmm. And it was like I saw it right there, and then I went inside, and they were like, yeah, go upstairs, Sid's having a party, Sid and his lovely wife and business assistant Sue were up there having their little party, and so Sid Haig was there. He's like, I just saw him on the screen. He's like 500 feet high, and then I opened the door. He's like, sit down, have a drink. But first, you gotta sign Joe Netter's ass. And I'm like, oh my God. And, because here I am, I was kind of new to the scene. They all leaned over. Like Sid, Bill Mosley, all those people there waiting to see. I'm like, all right, I'll do it. They were laughing at me. Now I'm steely now. I'll sign asses. Bring it on.
I just hope they didn't take that signed baby and put it up on eBay.
Oh my God. Oh.
He's gonna find a counterfeit of it.
Wrong. Just wrong. Hey, babies, that's where I stopped. See, like, children and babies must not be, Jason can't let that happen. My song, man, it's the You Better Run song? Mm-hmm. You Better Run, which is like, see, Jason's like real anti, child abuse, so it's like, it says, it goes, child beater better run away. First Jason gonna make you pay, you better run. Anyone that a child molest, run away, and never rest. And if you use abuse and body beat a child, So Jason gonna go buck wild. He will make you know how it feels to be small. How you're just a coward after all. You better run. You better run. You better run. Here comes first Jason.
Excellent.
Just a little taste of the sound there for you, Jim.
Oh, that's good stuff, man.
And for your listeners.
When you're signing stuff and you get the fans, they surprised by like the mustache when they first see you?
Well, I'll tell you. I mean, you know, people are surprised by me having hair at all. Like, they walk up to me and they're like,
True.
they're all just like, wait, you have hair. I mean, you know, I have actually had this situation where people have been like, you're not him. How can you be him? You know?
A lot of plastic surgery.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, come on.
you know, so a lot of, yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like, come on now, people. But, you know, they don't do the math. It's like, they're just like, wait. So they're stuck. They're like, you're not the little Jason, but you're not big like the big hockey mask Jason. Like, they're just stuck, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's okay, you know. I'm like the secret monster.
Yeah, you've been to the hair club for men.
That's it.
But, yeah, you know, the Kane Hodder had a funny crack, because one time we were at that Monster Mania show with all the Jasons at a big panel. He asked me some question, and I was like, blah, 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 blah. And Kane's like, thank you, Captain Morgan.
That's fitting.
Yes. So I guess, you know, so I guess that was my drink at the bar later.
You know, Jason's like the the crazy guy in the woods. He's a killer and stuff, but he never had any facial hair. Doesn't really seem like a guy that'd be shaving a lot.
Really, man, he's not too manly. I guess do we ever check it, you know, to see if Jason? I mean, yeah, you're right. When they took the thing off, what has he been shaving? He's out there. He's like,
just walk off the hood on his head, and he still takes the time to shave.
That's right. He should be all hairy, man. That's a good point.
Yeah,
I agree with
Well,
that.
he goes a little extra, you know. He takes the time, does a little shave.
He's like, look, these great actors, I have to shave too. No, come on, please.
And maybe it's more aerodynamic without the facial hair. To go
Oh my God, I don't know what is it with Jason? You know, they never really defined the face after me. They try.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying, and then they did the part 10 thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but
and he turned back to a kid in Jason Takes Manhattan. Think they should have made him like more like you from the original?
well, you know, I saw that, and I thought, you know, it was like one of the first times they really kind of they were just going, it's kind of a fantasy script there, you know. It wasn't like they were really trying to adhere too much to the storyline. So, I mean, you know, there wasn't talk of Betsy, of Pamela or, you know, such things really. You know, I mean, they talked about it, I think, in the first scene or something, but not really too much. So, you know, I think that at a certain point it just becomes a character, and that character can, you know, as you say, Jason is a madman in the woods. You know, there's certain things about Jason. I mean, he's silent, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He's not like screaming at you, you know. He's not. But it's like there's no way you could possibly reason with Jason. You know what I'm saying? It's it. And I think one of the things that's actually a good point, because he's like a child trapped in the body of a huge monster, right?
Right.
That's one of the whole things. And actually, in my storyline, that's the main point. But nope, I don't want to get aside there. But the thing is that he is like a child, and so maybe, hey, no facial hair. That kind of makes sense. Like,
right.
He's like a huge child who's like, you know, I must have my way, you know, and
it's like
destroying. Because he's not, you know, the thing about Jason, he's not an evil character who premeditates evil behavior. He just sees something wrong and destroys it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just an instantaneous reaction. And again, he's also not really connected too much with like underworld or mythology or stuff like that. It's a very, just basic character.
We got another caller here. Who is this?
Hey guys, this is Casino Man. How's it going?
Oh, good. You're on air with Ari Lehman.
Hi Ari, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well myself. Thank you for asking. I've got two questions for you. The first question is, who do you think, in your opinion, was more responsible for the success of Friday the 13th? Sean S. Cunningham or Steve Miner?
Ooh, that's a tough question. I would answer by saying Tom Savini. No, but that's a cop-out answer. No, the story there is interesting. Sean, it was really Sean's baby. And the fact of the matter is that after completion, I think that they had done a test somewhere, and he was a little bit wary about the whether he was going to make back, his money. You know what I'm saying? And actually, Steve Miner sailed in at that point and said, he in essence bought the film from Sean. And so in the end, I mean, I got it. This is true. That Steve really did well on Friday the 13th. Sean made back his money, but when all of a sudden it did so well, I think Sean was a bit dismayed. And then Steve went on to do House with that money.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but then, as I heard from Tom, who had no reason to tell me, anything but BS, he said that then Sean they did make their money back on part 4. Mm-hmm. Wasn't it part 4? Not part 3, part 4, right?
That Steve Miner directed? It was
No, Sean. If Sean came back, it was like it was part 4.
Yeah.
That's when they called it the Final Friday or something.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Right, and so that's when and then they did really well. According to Tom, that's when Sean made his, what did he call it? Porsche money or something like that, and then he got out to California and lived happily ever after. So it all worked out in the end. But I mean, does that answer your question? It was really Sean. Like, I worked on a movie that Steve Miner produced and Sean directed, and Steve was much more on the site than with Friday. It was really Sean who was doing just about everything.
Yeah, that answers my question. And just as a side note, before I ask my second question, Steve Miner was actually scheduled to direct a 3D Godzilla movie in the early 80s, but that fell through for a variety of reasons. Any of you know that?
Godzilla movie.
No, I never heard about that one.
Yeah, William Stout was hired as the production designer, and he did some storyboards, and Fred Decker, who went on to write and direct, I think, the movie The Monster Squad, was hired as the screenwriter. But yeah, they were in pre-production, and that movie just never got made. But my second question is
just
very
Casino,
ambitious.
before you go to that one, Casino Man, there's a 20th anniversary of the Monster Squad. I'm not sure of the name of it, but there's like a horror con going on, and they've got like all the cast from Monster Squad for the 20th anniversary.
That's right, I heard about that. That's right.
That should be pretty cool. All right, go on, Casino Man, start.
Very cool.
Well, I've heard a lot of talk about Tom Savini tonight, and he certainly is a very talented makeup artist, but my favorite makeup artist of all time is Rob Bottin. And I just wanted to ask Ari if he's, number one, ever heard of Rob Bottin, and, if so, what did he think of his makeup work? He did the makeup work in John Carpenter's The Thing, and Total Recall, RoboCop, those sorts of movies.
Well, I think that those are all fantastic examples of the genre. I mean, I don't know if you could really parallel the two individuals too much. I mean, it's a different kind of style, and I think my experience with Tom, was personal, being that, I was like 12, 13 years old, and, they brought me to his studio. It was like going into Merlin's workshop. There was like severed heads and, decapitations and, disemboweled carcasses. It was like, it had like everything. It had like everything. And then they'd be like sword fighting. Like, that's what they did. Like, they would ride motorcycles and sword fights. That was like their big thing. Like, with like fencing sabers.
Uh-huh.
And like, so you'd have to be ready to defend yourself at any moment. And then like, I remember one time Tom put like we had a full plaster on my head,
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, here, listen to this music. And he put on Jim Morrison and the Doors, People Are Strange. It was like, people are strange, and you're strange. I was like, man, this is so weird, And I was like 13, And it was the 70s, it was wild times, no doubt. It was wild. But in terms of comparing them, I don't know. I think that ultimately Tom probably respects the work of all the makeup artists out there.
Mm-hmm.
He comes from the Dick Smith. Dick Smith is who was his mentor, but now techniques have become so much more advanced. I think one of the things that's so great about Tom's work is that he uses a lot of those techniques that they even use at the best haunted houses, wherein maybe the effects weren't so realistic, but the way they presented them, by distracting you at a certain moment and misdirecting your attention at precisely the right moment, and by studying people's reactions, then they were able to maximize what they were working with, which I always think is the greatest, when you can take what you have and make the most of it. He used to go to the theater and just watch people's reactions to that final scene. He would go for the last 10 minutes and just watch the theater backwards to see people jump out of their seats at the final.
Thanks. You got anything else, Casino Man?
The only thing I have to say is, when it comes to horror movies, you can think of a lot of scary things, but I think the scariest thing I can think of, if a horror movie actually came to life and were happening in real life, would be if Jason were playing a game of Bigfoot tag with me, but I guess that's a subject for a different time. In any case, thanks guys for having me on, and
that is scary.
thanks very much, guys. It's been fun. Thanks very much.
Thanks a lot for calling in, man.
You're welcome. Bye.
Yeah.
Those are good questions.
Talk about like the makeup and stuff. Did any of it come off while you were underwater, or did it get heavier? Did it soak up the water?
No, it's like it was like prosthetic, and we didn't stay underwater too long.
Excuse me.
Wasn't really super designed for durability. It's like they had me. Basic concept was the first scene was going to be the whole thing. It was just going to be I drown, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
It was like Jason, without any muck on him, drowns, and that was going to be it. Just the part where she says, my Jason, my son, right? And that's it. And then Sean said, you know what, we need a new ending to this movie, because he had seen Carrie. And this ending wasn't in the script. The famous ending was not in the original script. So he said, somebody, he put it to the cast and crew. Come on, give me some ideas. What do you guys have ideas for an ending? And it was Tom Savini who came up with that ending idea. Because he said, look, we could show the makeup again. So then they had me come back to the studio and work on it again. And that time, we created it to look disgusting. Like, they wanted it to look both repulsive, but that you still had sympathy for Jason somehow.
Right.
So we created that, and then I went, when we got to the set, he actually had me increase the effect. He had us dredge actual pond scum You know, I mean, that's why I am, you know, the slime boy himself, because we would go down with a slime bucket to get some pond scum.
Bring the slime
I mean,
bucket.
Who can just say that slime bucket and pond scum, you know, in a sentence, you know, and it's actually part of a normal sentence. But anyway, so I was using that slime bucket to get all the pond scum, so we poured it all over me. And then he also mixed it in with all kinds of, like he took his recipe for blood and, you know, the kind of gooey stuff. And then he also laid latex over that and then waited for that to dry and then peeled that back so it looked like flesh coming off, you know. And so when I went under, it would be for a very short amount of time because he was concerned about how long it could last underwater. But it was just a matter of just wait for the bubbles to clear and just get in the water. One thing is he did not want me to talk to Adrian King, the lovely Adrian King, who was on the set. And, you know, I was like, wow, I get to be in the scene with her. You know, I thought as an actor, you know, you go, you meet somebody, hey, we're doing a scene together. I'm going to drag you into the water, you know. But, no, he said, don't even talk to her. Don't talk to her. I don't want her to know you. I don't want her to see that. And especially when you get to the set on the day of with the makeup on, don't go anywhere near. So it's like the only time she sees you is when you're actually just getting in the water. She even had me get in the water first, and then she came out into the water. So it's like she wasn't, you know.
Yeah, she's seen it for the first time.
Yeah. And so when I
really
jumped out, man, she was pretty scared, dude.
Right.
She jumped out, my friend. She jumped out of the boat, man, and she said, shit! You know, she was like, what the fuck? You know, she was scared, man. And so that shot was blown, man, because she was just like, you know, what the heck? Because, you know, I was all like into it. I was like, you know, like, I really jumped out of the water at her, you know. And then so Sean's all like, you know, I think they used some of that, but he's like, when they went to do it again, the second time he said, you know, kind of don't overdo it and just kind of make it a little mellow. And, you know, and then they dried her off. They blow dried her hair, you know, and then she got back in the boat. And the funny thing is, when you look at her face, you cannot tell that she knows. In other words, it looks like she does not know that I'm there.
Right.
But, you know, so she really has the look in her face like that. But, you know, so she
you think, you know, if they didn't have that like ending, you think the movie would have lost some of its impact?
I think, yeah. I mean, honestly, I think that one of the things about that movie, and I think that a lot of horror movies rely on just a stunning ending, because that's part of the whole concept of horror, in the sense that, you know, it's about death and death's inevitability and finality. And like if you look at I don't know, House on Haunted Hill, you know, with Vincent Price.
Yeah.
And at the end, he comes out with that skeleton, you know, death
Right.
at the very end, and you're like, what the heck is this? I mean, it's like, you know, a lot of different horror movies have some freak ending. And, I mean, I definitely think
I love that movie.
I mean, I think that, yeah, oh yeah. And then, but the final scene being so jarring and so, I think what was important about it is that it got people to tell other people, you know, go see this movie.
Right.
Because they almost wanted to bring their friend there just to look at them, you know, at the end to see if they would jump too, you know. It was like, it was a real thing. It was like, I mean, for me, it was a thrill too, because it's like when you scare somebody, you know how you feel scared too, like you get that little thrill, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just like that, and I think that people had a lot of fun with the movie, and you know, people could say this or that about other movies that it drew from. I mean, it definitely they were definitely preceded by and influenced by the Italian movies at that time, you know, all the Italian horror movies. Like, if you look in the movie Phenomenon by Dario Argento, if you remember the final scene in that movie,
yeah,
the great character played by, okay, come on, what's her name? The actress Jennifer Connelly. Jennifer Connelly plays the young girl. She's like only 12 or whatever. She controls the nature. And she gets like bugs to attack and birds to attack and all this shit. But anyway, at the end, she gets in a boat and she goes off into the water, and this little kind of mutant kid comes out. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, but this little mutant kid comes out and it's like trying to get her in the boat, and then he falls in the water at one point, and the water, there's a fire somehow, I guess, because it's a motorboat and the gas is on the water, it ignites, and then he pulls her into the water. At one point, it's a very similar scene. So, I mean, I think, you know, for you horror buffs out there, it's a good reason to get the Dario Argento movie Phenomenon, in which you will see that at the end. And then there's other movies. There's other movies from Italy that had some of the things that, you know, that influenced Sean. Obviously, Sean was watching them because those movies were like, you know, 1978, 77, and then he made it in 79 and 80. You know.
Right. Well, everybody's influenced from something.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Someone here in our chat room, Gogo, he wants to know if you like the Alice Cooper's Man Behind the Mask song from Friday the 13th, Part 6.
Oh, yeah, of course, man. That's a great song. I worship Alice Cooper, man. We are not worthy, man. Please. And that's C.J. Graham, who did the video with him. Yeah, I mean, come on. Alice Cooper is the originator of horror rock in a lot of ways. I mean, he's the one who he took the metaphor, you know, further than anybody did. I mean, you know, Ozzy kind of had it in him, but Alice was all about the whole thing that led up to, like, you know, Marilyn Manson and all this that's going on today, you know. I mean, the horror rock scene is just getting out of hand right now. It's like, I mean, I'm very glad to see it thriving, you know. It's just kind of like an onslaught to destroying, you know, venues one at a time. It's bad.
Well, everybody know you got the Vampire, the movie release party. It's coming up February 24th, and you guys are going to be there.
That's right. I did the soundtrack for this wonderful documentary about the first Scream Queen, the horror vixen, the glamour ghoul herself, Vampira, whose name is Mila Nurmi, who was a really hip chick back in the 50s, 60s, and she went out with James Dean and Marlon Brando. I mean, she was cool, man. And so I did the soundtrack, and, you know, they're going to show it at Fangoria, Chicago. So we figured that Kevin Shawn Michaels, the director, said, why don't we do some kind of party? And here in Chicago, there's Rose Red Productions, and so they got us together this Vampira, the movie bash, which we're going to have, first Jason is going to play, the Massacres, and also the great Chicago band Johnny Vomit, who should not be missed for their great song Head Handle, one of my faves. And they are awesome. And you know, there's going to be a best dressed vampirette contest. So anybody who's in the Chicago area, or if you're going to be coming to either the Fangoria Weekend of Horrors, that's February 23rd through 25th, or the Halloween and Haunt trade show, which is simultaneous. We will be handing out flyers, so just look for Vampira. We'll have girls dressed as Vampira walking around handing out these flyers, and then we have posters with the Vampira on it.
Just piqued John's interest.
And you can always come. Oh, well, come on out. I mean, if you go, you can also check out the MySpace Vampira movie. You know, that's a good place to check it out. We have a lot of information there about this film, and also in the film is Jerry Only from the Misfits, and the great Sid Haig, and Forrest Ackerman, and Bill Moseley. And
Forrest Ackerman.
That's right, man. I mean, that's
something I always wanted to go to, the Acker Mansion.
Oh yeah, me too.
Have
You
you
know,
ever been to the
this must be a real horror interview if Forrest Ackerman was mentioned.
Oh, no doubt. I still have all my old famous monsters. So, you know.
That's pretty awesome that Ackerman has a MySpace, I have to say.
That's the best. That blew my mind.
Uh-huh. Have you ever been to the Ackerman Mansion?
I haven't been there, I gotta admit, man. What is that about?
It's like it's just his house, but he like takes people on to like tours of his house and all his memorabilia.
Yeah, it's kind of like a museum in his house. It just looks so cool.
Whoa.
We all have to go.
Man, I don't know. You know, I eat up the old horror stuff. I'm like, forget it. I'm also like, I'm way into the German silent horrors. Nosferatu, Caligari, Your Golem is one of my favorite movies.
Oh, that was awesome.
You know, I mean, and then I just love all that stuff. Lon Chaney, you know, I mean, I just got the Lon Chaney collection because Tom Savini talked about it on. It was like one of the I think it was on the Dawn of the Dead commentary track, and that was like his hero growing up was Lon Chaney, and that stuff's just great.
Oh yeah.
No, Lon Chaney is so amazing, and even his non-horror roles, like if you look at the Ace of Hearts or the movie I love called The Unknown, in which he plays Alonzo the Armless.
Yeah.
The guy who throws daggers with his feet.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I mean, I don't want to ruin the movie.
Right. That's a great twist at the end of the movie.
Oh my God! And that ending scene. Oh my! That is just
yeah. And the laugh he gives. I mean, that's just great stuff.
I mean, the simplicity of some of those films is just so striking, and like they did so much with so little, and like I don't know. But then again, I think I've heard that this new David Lynch. Oh gosh, what's the name of the film? I got it right here. His new movie. He did it all on digital video. That's what I heard. What's the name of this movie? It's called The Inland Empire.
I haven't heard of that one.
No.
Well, it's just the new starring Laura Dern, and Inland Empire. But all I'm trying to say is that he uses just digital video. So maybe we're getting to another time period wherein it's like the simplicity factor is going to come in again, like the limitations of certain medium will be stretched because people can afford them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you know, like look at YouTube. You know, I mean, I think we're on the cusp of a whole new wave in filmmaking and horror in particular.
Mm-hmm. Did you have a
Are
question?
you guys making any movies? I bet you one of you guys is probably making a movie or involved with the movie.
Yeah, we talk about it every week on here. All, different ideas for slashers, and, different holidays that there hasn't been a. Now we find out there is a Thanksgiving movie, so we got to cross that one off the list.
Now we're moving to Groundhog Day.
The Easter Bunny, that's right.
The Arbor Day movie.
Yes, that could be bad.
I was thinking instead of a slasher movie, we needed a smasher movie where a guy uses a blunt instrument to kill people.
Oh, there was one. Oh man, what is that movie?
Oh man, everybody's ruining my ideas.
Oh no,
no,
it wasn't like a big meat tenderizer though.
Yeah, my idea was a crazy chef with a meat tenderizer.
Well, there is Bikini Bloodbath, and they have the what is he? The Evil Chef? No, I can't remember.
Oh my God! Everybody's ruining ideas. Bikini Bloodbath. They have the evil. What's his name? He's the evil chef. I forgot. Oh. He runs around. He's mean. Oh man, I gotta see that one.
Scary. No, but you guys, you know, that shouldn't stop you, man. I think everybody. That's this time period. That's what it's about. Everybody is going to come out with some ideas, and what's going to happen is, sure, there's going to be a lot of stuff which is like not so great, but then there's going to be some stuff which is amazing, which is going to change everything and new ideas. You know?
Yeah, we had him on the show. Said Adam Green, We're looking forward to a Hatchet that's coming out, and that's got Kane Hodder, as
No, Kane told me great stuff about that movie.
Mm-hmm.
He always up on everything. He knows things before we tell him.
Oh, yeah.
Kane is on top of it. Well, I mean, I'm like, I got the monster hotline here, You guys are letting me in on what's going on. But the other thing that's happening with us is the Creatures of Crystal Lake tour.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, this is here's imagination gone amok and wild, and absolute destruction, without any mitigation. I mean, it's like destruction has a new middle name, First Jason. It's like this tour is going to happen from June 29th of 2007 to Friday the 13th of July, ending here in Chicago, starting in Texas, and we're going to be going up through the Midwest. We're going to go up to Indianapolis, where we're going to be part of the Horror Hound Weekend up there. And it's we're touring together with First Jason, my band, along with this band Freak 13, who's from Texas, a great gore metal band with a great chick singer, Ravinica Rose, and that band is led by Chester Moore, and it's just an honor, and we're really looking forward to it. And you can check out the MySpace, that's Creatures of Crystal Lake, and you can hear the music there and check out all the insanity.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. We're going to be, probably coming to some towns that some of the listeners are in. So prepare for destruction.
I'll put all the links up on Without Your Head here. I'll put all the links up on our website so everybody can check all that stuff out. Someone here ruined the Easter thing. Ryron Voorhees here in our chat room says that Critters 2 took place on Easter.
Oh, man.
Oh, well, Critters 2, but you need something like, I was thinking you could have one about an evil Easter egg.
There you go.
I
like that.
It's like a fireman, it all starts just like at a burning house, and like a fireman looks down and there's like this little jeweled egg, and he's like, wow, that's really cool. So he keeps it, he brings it, he gives it to his wife, but it turns out to be like one of those things from from Hellraiser, where it's like you do all kinds of demonic things, and so it passes from one person to the other. So it's called Bad Egg.
I like that. Ari and I got to do like a graphic novel or something,
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of doing. See, I have the idea for I have a bunch of film ideas, but the one I have for Friday the 13th. I mean, the Jason storyline, because, hey, I've been thinking about this for a while, so it better be good. But, no, we actually have a name for it. It's called Curse of Crystal Lake.
Mm-hmm.
And the Curse of Crystal Lake, we are thinking of doing just that with Scott Jackson, who's this great artist who does, like, my T-shirts and does the First Jason artwork and the poster artwork, and so he's done a lot of comic books, so we're thinking of doing that because, man,
Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be perfect.
You know what I'm saying? It's like
the time's
just
right.
make it happen.
King's got his graphic novel coming out. Marvel's just doing the Dark Tower graphic novel.
That's right. There's a lot of good things.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good things out. They got a Friday the 13th comic, of course, you've seen that,
mm-hmm.
which is pretty powerful, I think. They did a good job on that.
Everyone's inspired me. I've come up just from today's show. We're thinking about like the holidays, and then you had mentioned a golem. About doing an Arbor Day one with a wood golem. You could just go berserko on everything.
The wood witch, Yep. Out of a tree. And her arch nemesis,
like summon him.
Here comes the lumberjack. I'm coming to get you down. Oh,
it's
no.
like an idea factory around here.
No, you just have to get one of those Ents from the Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
I'll cut one of those up. Just get me one of them ants. I'll cut one up right now. That's what we were thinking, you know. You could, like, bridge those gaps because, like, horror versus fantasy world, you know?
Oh, yeah.
You have a thing like Jason versus Harry Potter. So, like, Harry Potter's, like, about to do a spell, and Jason, like, whacks him with a machete. Like, oh, sorry. Yeah, we were thinking of you know, we have a special effects show for the first Jason show. Like, I had a head of Pamela Voorhees. It, like,
awesome.
It's like drips blood. No, it's awesome. They're made by Bump in the Night Productions.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a mic stand, which is like a severed leg, and you know, and the whole set, it's like we're trying to make it look like you know, you're in the summer camp kind of environment. And yeah, so one of the things, well, no, I mean, I was thinking of different ideas. I was thinking it would be a good idea to just line up little Harry Potters and just kind of kick them off the stage.
No, cut them up with, like, you know, cut them up with a machete, I think. That's better.
Oh, or hobbits. Come on. Some freaking hobbits. Frodo, here you go, Pam. Who's that over there? Little hobbits, just kick him right off the stage.
Well,
What, Pippin? Come here, Pippin. Wham! You know, give me a break.
Well, there you go. You got
Stay away
you got
from Sam, though.
yeah, you got the Hobbit.
No, I mean, and this freaking Pippin, man. You should see the tail that guy gets. Give me a break, man. You ever go to an LOTR convention? And it's lined up. Yeah, he's got tail. He's got girls coming, you know, 12-year-old to 120. They were wheeling him in there. They got girls on IV. Pippin, what's your room number? I'll be sitting there, you know, I'm like sitting there at the bar, you know. I was Jason. You know, I've got like a brandy, and I'm like, sure. You know, so, you know, you should see what I end up with. Oh, I don't even want to start. Oh my God. No, actually, I'm a happily married man. But Pippin gets a lot of tail up there. But you know who gets tail? How about that Alex Vincent? That Chucky guy. Little Chucky.
Oh, really?
He's always CBing me. He CBs me every time. Oh. You know, little Jason gets CB'd by Chucky, man.
Well, there you go. You got Chucky and the Leprechaun versus the Hobbits.
I never met the Leprechaun, but I did meet the R2-D2 guy. That little guy. Oh, man. Oh, he's the women, I tell you. You know those Brits, you know, they have all that charm and all that.
Oh, yeah. That's probably Christopher Lee, probably, you know, get his share.
He's like, it's magic, very delicious. Beep, beep, R2, you know. No, but horror cons are fun, man, I will admit.
Yeah, we'll have to start going to some here. You got any coming up?
Louder crowd, though, than like the science fiction or like the fantasy convention.
No, horror people, man, that's the best, man. You just have fun. It's just fun, man. I mean, and, you know, I've been at some seriously crazy cons where it's like, you know, I remember one time we were all, like, late in the bar. There was the two Jedi girls were there, you know, Boba Fett, the guy who played Boba Fett, Daniel Logan or whatever his name is, was there. The kid from Lassie was there.
Wow.
The freaking soup Nazi from Seinfeld was there. Okay. The guy who played the Uruk-hai in Lord of the Rings, and Sauron, the big Sauron guy. These guys are like New Zealanders. They were all. It was crazy. You know, like these, you know, all getting drunk, and I was playing the piano. It was fun. That's your typical kind of thing. But also, one horror convention, I got to be the piano player at a wedding of two very dedicated horror fans who got to have Bill Moseley as the best man, and Doug Bradley. Yeah, Doug Bradley gave the sermon. Man. I mean, you know, he married them because he's ordained, and he was like, are you prepared to enter into the eternal heaven? It was like, It was like, I was like so scared I couldn't play the piano. I was like, oh my god. It's good.
There ever any brawls?
What was that?
Brawls? Well,
Oh.
you know who's good with the brawls is Big Andrew. Andrew Bernard.
Really?
Because when we were in the UK, you know, Andrew is a big inspiration for me, I got to admit, because at every convention that I'm at, he's always extends himself to the fans, like, really great. Not just the young, pretty girl ones, but, you know, everybody. And he, like, I've been in, you know, like, you know, he'll just buy drinks for everyone at the bar. He's very good with people. And he, well, one time, though, okay, we were at this one, and the A-team, members of the A-team were there, okay? So they didn't have Mr. T, and of course, the general guy who passed away. So they had the other two guys. They had Face, and what's the other guy? I can't remember. But, so they had the two guys, and one guy is there, and, you know, good thing I don't remember his name. But anyway, so Andrew walks up to them all like, hey, you know, I really respected you for a long time, and I think you're a great actor. And he goes to shake his hand, and the guy will not shake his hand. Whoa. And he continues to smoke this nasty cigar, filling up the whole bar with this nasty smell, and he looks like he's getting dizzy at the same time, and he won't shake. And so Andrew's like, you're not going to shake my hand after I just said, you know, how much I respect you? And the guy's like, well, that's my prerogative. Wow. So Andrew just goes, oh no, man. Oh, Andrew got a bit angry, but there was no brawl there. I have to admit, Andrew had every right to be upset. But
was it the guy that played the Starbuck or the other guy?
They call him Face. Like,
oh, okay, that was the guy that was rude to him.
Well, you know, I don't want to start some crazy gossip here.
Right,
yeah.
right.
I don't know. Maybe he felt some. I don't know why he wouldn't shake my buddy's hand, but hey, he should have. But yeah. I mean, there's one time we were at a con and you know, Kane Hodder and Ken Kersey were there at the same convention, and at the same convention we were at that big kind of interview panel, and they at one point one fan asked a question kind of challenging them, you know, like as to whether Kane should have been in Freddy vs. Jason, and was he upset about it. And immediately Dave Hagen, who runs that convention, told the guy to be quiet, you know. Mm-hmm. He was like, stop. But the guy wouldn't stop, so he just kept going. And he's like, Kane, why aren't you sitting next to Ken? And all this, you know, like ridiculous stuff. Mm-hmm. Because in all honesty, Kane and Ken, they've worked together professionally, and they've had their, you know, professional challenges together, but they have no animosity for each other at all. They're good friends actually. And so this guy said that, and so the whole place just goes, asshole. They called over security, and they just picked this guy up and just took him out of the place. It was sick, man.
Slarty Birdfest here in our chat room, he mentions that it was Murdoch was the other person in 18.
Oh, okay. Okay, very good. Okay, yes. Well, I'll say I don't know which one it was. No, actually, the other one guy was really cool, so I don't know. Whatever. You know. Hey, you know, things happen. You know, I just calls him like I sees him. But no, Andrew, you know, is a great character to be around, and it's always inspiring to be around some of these Jasons. Ted White who was Jason 4, yeah. And he was actually also John Wayne's stunt double for like 25 years, and wow. You know, just having him around like just raises our property value. The man is a true actor from the golden days of film, and it's just you know, just being around someone like that. And Betsy Palmer is another person who's a constant inspiration to me, because I've done signing lines with Betsy where we'll be going, 5-6 hours without stopping. Sometimes more. I mean, and Betsy is up there with so much energy, greeting each fan and finding something about each person so wonderful. I mean, she's just amazing. And I mean, I remember having to get up and actually stop a line, just say, look, the woman's done, at the end, these people were like, but we're leaving, we're not going to be here tomorrow. So we had to just, whoever was going to be there tomorrow had to leave, She's incredible, and, and I just learned from people like that it's really about the fans, it's not about us, about them, just bounce off that energy. And there's a lot of great stuff coming up. You got, first of all, there's that Fangoria Weekend of Horrors with the Vampire Party. Then you got Fear Fest is coming up in Texas. And Fear Fest is going to be a mind-blower event because you got all 4 actors who played Leatherface are going to be there.
Cool.
Wow.
Okay, you got Bill Johnson, you got Gunnar Hansen, you got R.A. Mihailoff, and you got Andrew Bernarski. And they're all going to be there. Plus, Freak 13 is going to be there. So I'm going to get up on stage and sing Mother and Die Die My Darling and Andrew up there. And, we're going to go nuts. And there's a rumor, that Vinnie Paul, who's the drummer of Pantera, who was, will be there too. Either we're hoping, now this is totally we're hoping with an ensemble of his own. I don't want to say what it will be, but that may or may not happen. We're just hoping that that's going to happen.
Now, when is that?
That's going to be at the end of March. That's in March. So it's coming up, and that's in Texas. And then, another big one is that Horror Hound weekend. That's going to be in Indianapolis for all of your horror fan listeners who are up in Indianapolis in that area. That's going to be happening. That's run by Horror Hound Magazine, and they're going to be doing an event there, and they got a lot of great guests coming. So, definitely 2007's got a lot of conventions.
We got a caller here. Who is this? You're calling in the show. Who are you?
My name's James.
All right, you're on air with Ari Lehman. You got a question?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Hey.
Hey.
You're on in your head without your head. All right, he hung up.
Without his head.
Well, thanks for calling in. That was a great question. Added a lot to the show.
Maybe I just scared him,
I think so.
That could be.
Scared of Jason. Here in my lair beneath Crystal Lake,
Yeah, that
under the icy waters. As I cast my gaze over the piles of cadavers and corpses, I kind of wonder whether the floor has always been this color red or whether it just got that way after so long.
Well, we really appreciate you coming on tonight. Anything you want to tell fans out there before I let you go?
Just let them know and remember Jason is watching. And we'd love to hear from them at firstjason.com, at MySpace, Creatures of Crystal Lake, and it's yours truly, the boy in the lake, the slime child, the muck monster. And I want to say, Without Your Head is awesome and rules the airwaves of the internet.
Oh, man.
It shall destroy all.
Oh, man. He just moved up into our favorite guest of all time now.
That's it, man.
You guys are great.
Oh, thanks.
I've had fun.
Oh, we had a blast.
It feels like we should, have a beer or two, but,
Oh, you know,
we'll have one
that's
through the
what I
headset.
feel like.
Here, I'm trying to hand one through the screen. It's not working.
That's all right. John doesn't drink anyway.
No, he's a straight edge guy. You get him a root beer.
Yeah.
Those are good. Root beers are good.
Well, we had a blast,
yeah,
man.
let me know, just email me, let me know how it all works out.
Yeah, we'll get the archive up tonight, and I'll send you all the info. We'll put up all the links on the website.
Excellent.
Until the